everyone. This is One Fat Boy near my NBA game predictions for December 27th of 2021. Tonight's there's 7 games. I'll be giving my spreads and over-unders. I got my spreads from FanDuel, and the over-unders were not released as of recording, so it'll be a mix of FanDuel, and then for the ones I didn't have, I'll be giving what I would put. So for the Rockets at the Hornets, I'll be going with Charlotte -6 and an over 228.5. I expect no defense in this game. I expect the ball to go through the hoop a lot, especially on the Charlotte side as they have all their players back. Both teams are going to be playing up and down all games, so there's going to be no shortage of scoring. So if there's a game to bet on for players to score for points for overs, I'd go with this game. And then I just expect Charlotte just to make more, as there's just more star power on the Charlotte Hornets. For the Bulls at the Hawks, even though the Bulls played last night, I'll be going with Chicago -5, as they're just the better team this season. And the Hawks, they don't have their full team back, and if they do, they're not going to have practice, so it's going to be hard for them to get back in the groove of the game to beat Chicago. So I'll be taking Chicago, and I'll be going with under 218.5, as I witnessed the Hawks score less than 90 points. I believe they got 83 on Christmas Day, and that's a very low amount. And the Bulls, I expect them to get over 100 no matter what, so I think it's safe bet to go under 218.5. For the Celtics at Minnesota, I'll be going with Minnesota +8. The Celtics just have a tendency to keep games close, not really blow away their team, and if they are up by a lot, sometimes gets close at the end, and that's what I'm going to bet on with Minnesota +8. As Minnesota, they do have tools, and they could still possibly win this game, but I will still lean towards Boston winning, but not by more than 8. I will be going over 211.5. This is probably going to be lower than what the over and under will be, what they put out tomorrow, but it's just safe to go with 211.5, as Boston can clamp down on Minnesota, but also Boston can go cold. So I think it's just safe to go 211.5 in Minnesota, between like Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell. Someone's going to score for them no matter what. For the Jazz and the Spurs, we're going with the Jazz -7.5. Due to the Spurs playing last night, and we're going over 227.5, as the Jazz score a lot of points, and the Spurs have been also scoring a lot of points, and they also kind of give up a lot of points. But when you're giving up like 105, but you score 130, and that kind of goes for both teams. You're likely going to win if you're just scoring 130 points, 120, if that, but over for this game is what I'm going to lean towards. And Utah's just going to make more threes than the Spurs, which is going to give them the win. For the Grizzlies at the Suns, I'm going to go with Phoenix -9. For one, Grizzlies played last night, so tired legs, and plus they have to travel to Phoenix. And Phoenix has not had to travel since Christmas, as they played on their home court. Be playing on their home court again, so Phoenix -9. Then over 218.5, as I expect the Grizzlies defense to struggle due to fatigue, and the Suns will want to redeem themselves after playing Golden State, so I expect them to score at least 115 and then clamp down on Memphis to really solidify why they're one of the best teams in the league. For the Mavericks at the Blazers, personally, I wouldn't touch this game with a 6-foot pole, but if I had to choose a spread and a winner for this game, I'd lean towards Dallas. I don't have much faith in Portland. If Portland's going to win this game, it's going to be on the shoulders of Damian Lillard, and for Nurkic to stay out of foul trouble. And then Dallas, they just don't have all their players, so who's ever there is just going to have to pull together, come out with a win, and that's what I think is going to happen. We'll be going with the under 220.5, as if Dallas is going to win this, that means they're going to be playing some defense on Portland, because I don't expect, if this goes to a shootout, for the Mavericks to win that shootout. So under 220.5. For Brooklyn at the Clippers, I'll be going with Brooklyn minus 4.5. So for the star power between these two teams, they're both out except for one guy, and that one guy is James Harden. I expect him just to carry the Nets to the victory. Also, there's still some pretty good tools on the Nets. It's pretty similar to what the Clippers have, but I expect the Nets to pull together and win this one. I'll be going over 212.5, as this is probably going to be like mid-level scoring game, so it's probably going to be around like 215 if I were to guess, like a 110 to 105 kind of game, but with the Nets winning. For yesterday's results on the 26th, my predictions for Spurs were 5 out of 8. My over-under was 6 out of 8, making my total 13 out of 16. Overall, that's a decent day. For today's best picks, I personally would just adjust the Phoenix spread by 1 point, bring it down to -7. And then for over-under, I really do expect a shootout for Charlotte and Houston. Very high scoring game, so I will be sticking with that 227.5 over. So thank you for watching. Comment any of your spreads, over-unders, player picks to help others out, to help them get the best bets. Once again, thank you for watching.